Selectah on the T side. Did look like for a minute, though, that Selectah side was going to be able to do some major damage. We'll find out whether they can do on their map pick a Dust 2 to Egg. Let's start talking about this one. What's the chances of Selectah making this thing work?
Yeah, look, after seeing their T side of Inferno, I certainly have got a little bit more hope, and I think they can bring out a little bit more resilience going into Dust 2. I still think it's going to be a difficult time to get a map victory, because you've got to think for Excellency, they'll have a bit of a chat after that map and say, right, guys, like, yeah, we won it, but it probably should have been a lot more convincing. So going into Dust 2, they need to fire up on the T side. They need to get off to a good start. But for Selectah, at least, they're 2 for 2 in pistol rounds.
Indeed they are, yes. But the issue, I think, for Selectah's pistols is the fact that sometimes they aren't exactly, amazing on them. They certainly have had moments where they've, been able to get them and they've followed up, or failed to follow up, I should say, against Excellency. So, Selectah definitely got to focus on a little bit more than just their pistol victories here. Got the raid boss set up for Rylak, 2 smoke flashes set as well for Holmes and Dab. A P250 on Holmes as well as he brought out into the upgrade weapons. Utility for Jimka and JL. JL has the defuse kit as well for the Selectah side. And taps up from the P250. Rylax opens things up with a nice double onto Raven and Edward. Meanwhile, Holmes held out to the mid position, will take some damage, but B-site is essentially open here. Rotations are coming in from the CTs, and a mid control will be contested by Hutji, who tries to bracket in Tapper and get him taken out by the Excellency defensive line. The first 2 picks found, no trades for Selectah. USP is out, Excellency a 5-on-2.
Look, I tell you what, we saw Relax, struggling a little bit to get those opening P250 kills through, but in the end, he takes down a great couple of kills over at the B bomb side, and, well, from there, things are just looking pretty easy for the Excellency side. They've got an option, they can split up through A, they can head over to B, and even for JL, overextending, should get taken down pretty easily here for the T side. Relax is going to be able to find 3 kills in the round, and Jimka is the last one left, so it looks as if that Excellency are going to be able to pick up their first pistol round. And what a start on Dust 2.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. Absolutely brilliant there from Excellency. So the simple shots coming in from the P250s and mid-control contended. Selectah could not quite hit their own shots, and therefore it is a T-side start for Excellency. And a T-side start you would expect as well, given the strength from the T-side that we saw over on Inferno. And I mean, to be expected for this team, obviously, with their map pick going their way, you'd expect at least that aggressive half to work well for them. But Selectah have responses. Edward, quick headshot to Dab, shuts him down to open this up. And look at JL peeking in towards tunnels. Talk about Excellency, fragging back on the force buy round. Selectah about to do the exact same thing here.
And they just have to try and commit to long. They need to get some fights, even just for their confidence basis, to try and bring back this huge disadvantage, even for Edward, boosting a player up into the A bomb side. And there's even a gap in that CT smoke. That is just unacceptable for the T side. And from here, things are just really going awry. Holmes, 60 HP. Is the Scout going to push through?
Gonna try for it. Rylak's 1 versus 2, not even going to get a chance at the bomb plant. JL shuts it down with a 3K, and that is a response from Selectah again. Well, I don't know what it is about these follow-up rounds, but these force buys are working so well for the teams that are taking them.
Yeah, look, that was a great shot coming out from Edward to start the round off, and let's have a look at it again. Oh, yeah, that's a nice shot. It's very good. And from there, we see JL just pushing up through under tunnels, gets a great pick. They have a great advantage. And for Excellency, a lot of mistakes coming out in that last round. Even just the cross smokes, having a gap through the middle, things like that, you really can't expect from a team at this level.
Yeah, not great. Not bad, but not great. Of course, full rifles out for Selectah, not even wasting their time with SMGs. I know the head Kevlar is going to come out in abundance for the T side, so just take the fire as you would expect. The AKs in on 2 to deal with that head Kevlar, M4 to everybody else. No one SMG for Tapper, of course, couldn't afford the entire shebang. Either way, Incendiary's down. The CT is going to suppress the short control coming in from Excellency at this stage, and they were going to commit towards A. They maybe having second thoughts about that.
And it looks like they're actually starting to run in. All these footsteps are being heard, but it just needs to come off the entries. Tapper going to swing up and see a lot of players. The information coming through, and it's just an absolute cleanup. An absolute slaughter coming out. Not a single player goes down. And, well, they can pick up some upgraded pistols.
Indeed they can. 2-1 on the board for Selectah. Excellency now down in the dumps when it comes to the economy lineup. Bomb plant would be great to get them onto a buy into the next round. I'm not expecting anything massive. Not for round 4, at least. Set default common eco status. A flashbang for Hook G is the best that they have. Excellency. Downstairs into the lower tunnels. Holmes will lead the charge for his team. The M4 of Edward will face. So when the flashes over, they make their way out. JL on towards Holmes. Edward follows suit. Nice and easy-ish on the cleanups. So they do actually manage to get a frag. The USP there to close out for a 3K. Edward nice and easy to the mid position. And now the rebuy comes in from the Excellency T side.
Simple stuff coming out from the Series team. But now they've got to be looking into the rifle round. And for Excellency, I'm interested to sort of see how the default's going to work out. We haven't really seen a lot of longhouse presence coming through for the T side. It's been a lot of upper tunnels and lower tunnels presence, and then maybe starting to get some mid-control later in the round. Just seeing if they can bait out the AWP. We just see the dual peaks coming out. And Selectah, nothing is coming out towards long. This is quite a interesting heavy mid setup. There's 2 players out through mid and 2 players up through short. So they're trying to lock it down out through mid for the Ts.
Very lacking mid control here from Selectah. There's that one player peeking semi-aggressive on that short face. It's Tapper putting smokes up to try and blind them off and not let them allow them any sort of way into the short control, at least for the moment. Just stall for time here against Excellency, who will not take much damage in return. Incendiary will try to just force them out. It does not catch NK. He's but pixels away from burning. So a bit of an unlucky placement there from their man, but he stays alive regardless, and Excellency can just sit pretty in the short control, looking again towards an A split here.
A decoy coming out from Holmes, meaning that he doesn't have to turn away from that. And well, what was a very interesting heavy mid setup coming out from Selectah is now kind of turned into a B site hit, at least on the City side, with 3 players being there. Now they start to move around a little, and for Excellency, they're really running down the clock on this A split.
T side out on the open position. That was actually the player on the Gandalf. 5-on-4 situation. Manic spray from Tapper doing only so much damage. Rylax will take the spray back and take the man down. Bomb plant on default to 5 versus 3. And Selectah being slowly but surely forced out of the A bomb side. They're going to have to save.
Yeah, they did take their time, Excellency, but they made sure that they were establishing some crossfires, trying to get the information. And as soon as they take out of those couple of players of the A defenders, they go, right, yeah, we have to save for the CTs. Can't go for it. Let's just bring the weapons into the next round. We've got an AWP to bring forward, so you've got that big green gun to work with. Great response from Excellency as well. They've lost 3 rounds in a row after winning pistol, and now going into the gun round in round number 5, they're able to convert it, build up a little bit of confidence for them. And you've got to think, especially with how slow these rounds are from Excellency, that maybe countering with a little bit of aggression on the City side, or try to hold on to more utility, especially those HAs and incendiaries in particular, may be able to be the big damage dealers when the executions come through, because it was, what, 20 seconds when they crossed out from long?
And their aggression has generally just sort of been like passive aggression more than anything else here for Selectah, so I kind of agree to a certain extent. The AWPs to face. 1 AK save for Edward as well. Could potentially forward for him, but he's going to play passive in the CT mid area alongside the B side support of Raven. As longhouse control starts coming in for the T side, a little bit of mid presence as well from the 3 players out there. Rylax just going to fall back off position, putting some blind shots down. Unable to find the kills, unable to find the tags. The AWP JL that might find the opener here instead. Flash against him, fires away, falls off the position.
And baited out and forced back, and for Excellency, that gains the short control. They've got options here. Maybe try and split in through the mid to B, and that looks like what they're going to try and go for. They took that early short control, but they're now opting against it. They're going to now start to put the pressure onto the B bomb side, and there's 2 defenders here at B.
Set to the site, Molotovs flashes out, 3 mollies in total coming out to clear out key positions with smoke down on the B doors. Dav gets Edward, SMG of Raven better get checked out with the bomb as well, going to go in first, jumps around the corner, the SMG spray comes through, and that will stall the bomb plant for a couple of seconds, but they have got B site control. As JL jump faces, Tapper gonna spray and burst through blind. They can't get any of the picks back on them, and they're going to fall back and save for a second round in a row. Dreamquest set up to the exit frags outside of the tunnel's entrance, but that's the most advanced position they got here for Selectah. Their main objective is to save their M4s.
And even for Relax, he's been able to see that no one's pushed out through short, so they can pretty much have the idea they're not going to go for it. Oh, that was looking a little bit awkward for Jimka, and even Relax trying to see if he can find some exit frags here, taking almost everyone down. The AWP will go down in the end. I can't believe Haji went out that fight. There's just no way he should have won that.
Shot all within like the space of probably like maybe like best
second and a bit, yeah.
Second and a bit at most, probably even less than that, to try and adjust and get the kill. So credit, good shot. It certainly doesn't bode well for Selectah, who didn't save any weapons. They're going to force back into the double orb setup, but 2 SMGs now to back it up. These Akers are going to have a whale of a time picking apart the players on long, and indeed Jim could the first to fall.
And they're starting to look really confident at the moment. The double orb's coming out. We still haven't seen any impact from them yet. JL's so hungry. He really wants to peek this angle. And he does see Holmes and was able to connect the AWP. Even for NK, he wants to follow up rather than fall back.
Good way to respond there for the AWP, but the second AWP goes down in mid. Edward, a bit of an up and down sort of matchup series so far. He's going to end up going down in this round as Tapper holds control and JL follows suit onto Ryalax to a 2-on-2. They've dropped bomb out towards long as well. AK facing up, JL gets his 3K. Tapped up by Hutjin. Maybe this force buy might still work out for the CT camp. 1-on-2 for the man on the T side. He gashes the headshot on towards the ramp position. But now Raven adjusts too long. He knows that bomb was dropped. He knows exactly where it is as well. Hutji can't get to it in time, so he's got to take this fight. A smoke down from CT will also give up the information that he's still there on the bomb site. Will Raven overextend? When he looked to over-aggress here, the bomb dropped out behind the corner. He's hearing those footsteps though. Hutji taking face round in the corner. Spray goes better for him, and he clutches it in a 1-on-2 for a 4th round for Excellency and a lead for the T side.
Oh, what a round from Haji. And look, honestly, people haven't been speaking about this guy for quite some time. Everyone remembers him on the Vegas Squadron lineup way back in the day. But for the last couple of years, he's been very underrated, to say. Not a lot of players have, or a lot of people have been speaking about him. But, I mean, that clutch in particular, just reading it so well. Smoking off CT, he's able to clear out at least one position, isolating where the map control's coming through, and just reads the play so well. And what a round to win, considering that that was a force buy coming out from the CTs. It means that going into round number 8, Jay, they've just got really no money to work with and not a lot of upgrades.
Holmes taking JL for the opener. Nice and easy for the T's. The Eagles out, potentially to get some hand cannon headshots, but that's the best they're looking for here in this round. Selectah should not be on with a big victory. Maybe some damage, maybe some kills, but not to be. NK, Jimka, 5-on-3 situation. Excellency continuing to press forward into the A bomb site. Seeing there's one player out there. Burst out, headshot, kill coming through. 5-on-2, 5-on-1. And Edward, last man standing. There's no way. There's just no way.
I don't think there's a way. Certainly not. Edward just seeing if he can find anything, even an exit kill, maybe see if he can bring an AK into the following round, but even that's going to be a pretty difficult task. Ooh, timing. Did Hachi see him?
Yes, he did.
Easy kill coming through, and another round up for Excellency. And you've got to think for this T side, this is what, now 4 rounds in a row. They're starting to build up a bit of self-confidence, and for Selectah, this may be them getting a little bit desperate. We might see some overextensions coming up, because you look at the round and the buy that they've got the AWP out, but there's hardly any utility and only a single kit. So individuals may have to feel like they need to make a play.
Look, straight out of the gate for Hutji in towards the B bomb side, trying to take that aggression and continue to make it happen. Excellency will lose that first pick though. Molotov's in against Tapper and Jimka. Holds round the corner, loses fight. Tapper doubles up. And Excellency getting a bit overly aggressive. Reckless faces with not enough support behind them. The flashes into the big bomb that didn't come through. On towards the short face. There was the Molotov out. Not a great round there from Excellency, I don't think.
No, it really wasn't. Look, they did damage, but it certainly seemed as if that it was very uncoordinated, to say the least. There really wasn't a lot of support. Hudgy just went for a bit of a solo play, an unexpected play into that B bomb site. And even for Edward, reading out where the last player is, a great round coming up for Selectah. And for Excellency, they go, right, okay, we need to make sure that we're being a little bit tighter in some of these mid rounds. The fact that they just swing out through short like that with no flash and no double peek is unacceptable. And they're going to know that. They're 100% going to know that. And that's something that's going to be in the back of their mind to think, right, okay, what do we need to change and how can we do it?
Nades up. Back and forth between both sides, again to the tunnels, this time not quite as aggressive from Hutchie. And the AWP standing by from JL, trying to jump face and look for the AWPer down here to the T-spawn position. He knows there's a... got so close to finding the frag he needed, but unable to make it. Longhouse challenges on towards short. It is a 4 versus 4 as a trade has come back on Hitchy at least. And out of the gate, here comes Tapper with his nades on. A bit of a risky moment there because Homsker taking him down out in the open. The sprays come back for the AK. 3 players commit, 2 more out along. Is going to draw the CT player from the Longhouse catch up. Tapper against 1. Edward and NK trade Molotov kills between them. 2 versus 3. Selectah do have the man advantage with a HP advantage above Dav as well. And continue making their way up towards long. The CTs pretty much have a decent lockout here. They actually could just shut this round down from here.
They've only got a single smoke, so there's a big gap there, and Edward can work with this. Oh, he actually crosses over, but goes down in the end. And Dav's going to be the last one left. AWP up and can't do anything. A great round coming out from Selectah. And again, for Excellency, I think that we're just seeing some overextensions which just aren't really necessary. 5-5 on the scoreboard. They are able to get a buy-in once again, but it means that Dav is only going to be on a Tech 9, I believe.
That's all they got. Set with the AKs back on the board. The defaults for Excellency haven't gone well. They've been miscoordinated on the splits, so why not just go straight to the tunnels and look to a B-site play? This worked very, very well for them when they got the momentum swing, and you can see the utilities coming out very early. Smoke down over at B door, I assume. Incendiary is going to be a bit misplaced. Stand by, Edward out here alongside JL to support Raven. Instead of getting 3 picks, Edward gets himself 2. And that is Selectah there, simply just picking apart Excellency, and the confidence has swung back to the favor of the CT side.
Oh my, that was a devastating round. That looked very good from Selectah. They only had a single defender, but the quick rotator coming up from Edward out through mid is able to just establish a crossfire, and that just gets ripped apart. They don't find anything, Excellency. No bomb plan, no kills, no opportunities, and now no lead share.
Deagle in, Tech 9 for Dav. Towards the short control, JL with the AWP nade, so set for Tapper. All right, on, landing a bit too deep actually. The AWP shot doesn't miss, but Tapper gets his 1 kill with the M4. Looking for a second running out of ammo, and actually they can trade it back here. That's a lot of damage being sustained. Bomb picked up, can get planted as well. No contention for Jimko, so 2-on-2 for Excellency. This has worked really well actually.
This is very doable for the T side. Holmes is just trying to see if he can pick up a rifle. Oh, he's got an AWP. He has got the big green gun to work with to try and take a long duel. But actually for Jimko, he's going to slowly rotate out from long and back up his teammate in through short so they can work together on this retake.
Not enough time to set this up, though. They've got to go rushing in right now. 1 player moving up close. That's Raven out of CT spawn. Jimko onto the short position. He takes out 1 good headshot. Deagle back to try to deny the bomb diffuser. And he gets there just in time. Is there time for this? They got a kit. I think they got this. Selectah should have this. Yeah, okay. But even so, bomb plant on very little investment. 3 players down on the CT side. Not a bad eco for Excellency.
That's very good, actually. They did a lot of great work there. Maybe they can be a bit disappointed that they didn't close out the round, but a Selectah, they took their time. They made sure the retake was coming out together, getting a player out towards CT and one out through short of Jimka. Double orbs as well for Selectah going forward. And Excellency, we saw a bit of momentum going their way of 4 rounds in a row, but from there it's been shut down, and it's a fast commitment out from Long, but they haven't seen Jimka, and the trade's coming out, and it's a scrap fest out through Long.
A 4-on-3 situation. AK looking on for Hutji, backed up here. The AWP still watching out from Edward, hoping to catch someone out in the gap in the mid doors. Gets Holmes down, and Selectah looking real good from here. A bit of a weird start, a back and forth affair, but now that they're going, the CT side are just unstoppable. Excellency throwing everything they can at the wall, and it's nothing that's sticking, although Hutji will find a trade back. Quickly in position is Edward with the AWP. 1 of 2 that were in this round for Selectah. He'll spot 1, can't quite land the flick. The USP knows that he's tagged up though. He just can't quite land the shot. So a plant can be secured here by the T side.
Taking their time.
Have taken damage, got to get to the bomb site. Shot not connected to the tapper. The defuse can come through. They can find the bomb, that is. 4 kills for Tapper though. Well played from him to win the half for Selectah, and Excellency really running out of breathing room here. It was their T side that got them so far on Inferno, and it was supposed to be the half that got them far here on Dust 2. According to statistics, at the very least, the T side is where they're favored. But Selectah are just ripping them apart at this stage.
And for Excellency, we have seen them play this map 3 times on record against Little Mix, Wizards, and 9. And all times they have not been successful in a victory, but still been able to put up some pretty good performances on the T side. Certainly showing that Selectah have got what it takes to be able to win out the half. Good opening kill coming out from Holmes that establishes some long control. And this is the first time for Excellency in a while, Jay, that they've got an opening pick and they've been able to hold on to it.
Very efficient right now for them. Can they follow suit? They found that one. They're going to get responded to. JL straight up against NK. Headshot onto the mid face. And backing up passive as well, knowing that Excellency most likely will swing in from short, and you'd be right to assume that. Nades on doing damage to Hutji as well, so great adjustments from Selectah. A follow-up nade, this could do a lot. It lands a bit too deep. Hurtling past the T-side forces and leaving Hutji and Holmes on 49 points of health each. But now the hit will come through from the T-side. Smokes down, flashes coming over. Going to try and blind them off. The orb still here, standing by for JL. Plenty to find, gets that 1 kill on Rylax. Man advantage regained for the CT side. Tapper gets Holmes next up, 2 players standing. 1 frag come back for Dav. Hutji on site needs to get a line in to secure a bomb plant. Seeing the AK here towards Long, but Tapper takes it down, and Edward, no scope jumps, takes out Dav, secures the 9th for Selectah.
Oh my goodness, what a shot coming out from Edward, but what a shutdown coming out from the CT side. Let's have a look at this again. Ooh, we like to see that. Man, what a first half coming out from Selectah. They've looked really dominant these last few rounds, 6 in a row for them. And Excellency have just not really had a lot of chances. We've certainly seen in terms of nade placements, yeah, sometimes it's been a little bit deep out through short, but certainly the health. We've seen a lot of damage from HEs and incendiaries from the CT side.
AWP looking into the mid control, hoping to get some info. He sees 1 player crossing. Can't take him down. They've got this scout out for Dav. Going to try and challenge on sniper v sniper action, but it should be JL to win this fight. So he can land the flick, gets Hutji instead. One of the rifles out to the mid control. Spray back from Holmes, trying to do some more damage. Flicks missed. AK looking up, Tapper to 38. Good kill from Index back to NK, a 5-on-3 situation. One response there from the T side. Ryman's going to be good for 2, but needs an ace to clutch this round. The bomb's out in the open as well. And 3 players to find in a 1-on-3 situation is just not going to happen here towards Cross. He'll get spotted. Tap up from Edward. 10-5 to close the half for Selectah.
Looking a lot better. Certainly looking pretty comfortable from Selectah. And one thing that we really spoke about in that first map, Jay, was the fact of, we saw the CIS team putting up a really good performance on T side. This was on CT. This wasn't even on T. So the fact that they're able to put up this many rounds already is a great sign to come going into the second half.
Selectah looking real good once again. This time on the first half and on the CT side, in comparison to the way that Inferno went as well. You're looking at a very much more defined team here on their map pick. On the T side as well, could be their way to destroy the Excellency camp. USP straight out for Dav, tapping up, trying to do some damage, trying to get those kills, but nothing will be received. Him and Holmes backed up out to the A bomb site, will boost up. And Selectah setting up something here from the long take.
Secondary smoke is out for long. Maybe a short smoke, potentially. And seeing if they can hold back the retaking ability. Execution coming through. Pistols up, but already.
Dav, Hutji picks back. Jimka chimes in for 1. Dav will trade it. 3 versus 1 as Jimka's left alone here with the bomb on his back. Needs an ace to make this happen once again for the T-side. Gets his 3rd pick and his 4th. No way, Jimka facing it against Hutji. Not quite getting the headshot, but USP's out. He's desperately looking for that 1 tap he needs. But no, shut down by the last of Excellency. But oh my, what a clutch that would have been for an ace in the pistol.
Oh, that could have been big. That could have been absolutely massive coming out from Jimka. And unfortunately, even with that pistol round being so close, Jay, they didn't get the bomb down, which means that really they can't force, and they are. So, well, it just seems like we're really just seeing questionable buys coming out from both sides. But for Selectah, they need to make this work.
Yeah, they do. They need to go straight out into the force buy. Out with the Eagles and the Galil for Jimka. Great work from him, rifle man for this round, and rightfully so. Excellency back in for their CT half, and is this going to be the half that finally turns them over the edge? I mean, obviously statistically based, you should expect the T side to work out based on the way that this series has gone in their previous map-ups. I've got 2 players on the CT side to defend here against Selectah coming in from the mid to B. Raven takes out Rylex. NK gets 1 and 2 and 3. USB set to the 4th, not quite, but Tapper turns it to a 3-on-2 situation. The bomb plant to be secured. And Excellency, I mean, they are in for a good, decent retake from here, so Selectah could be in with a bit of a weird chance, but especially with Tapper on 7 points of health. This Galil of Edward needs to go massive. And time is ticking. The team's making their way up. Burst through, drop down. Tapper's going to go falling. They check out the car position, and Holmes gets a double. And there it is, 7th for Excellency. A bomb plant for Selectah, though. I don't think it'll be enough to force another buy.
Yeah, no, it really shouldn't coming out from the T side, but you've got to think that NK did such a great job with that B bomb site. If he maybe got 2 kills at most, then they may have even thought about not going for the retake and just trying to save on, which would have put them in a really awkward position, but NK makes that round successful. He does such a great hold out towards the back of the site. And, well, normally, we wouldn't see them force again. But, of course, why not, Jay? Because it is Selectah. And you just never know what they're going to do, because going into round number 18, there's Galil's up, there's a couple of AKs, and there's 2 smokes and 2 flashes, and that's it.
Onto the rifles. So seeing this, Selectah, smokes go down, Hutji in with the FAMAS out. Flashes away, there's a gap in that smoke that he can use as well. Takes out one, does damage to his second and just barely escapes with his life. Massive man advantage again as NK swings in from the B doors. 5-on-3, Deagle out, does get dealt with, but NK looks for his triple and he finds them all. Edward, last man standing out from the tunnel's entrance. No way left in this round. This is an 8th for Excellency.
Well, that was probably one of the most chaotic rounds we've seen in this matchup so far. There were so many players fighting. We saw Haji out towards CT. He falls back, then the Deagle comes out through mid, and then we see NK fighting at B, and it was just utter chaos coming out. And, well, for Selectah, they don't know where to look at what time. And that round's just shut down. Bomb dropped out into the open at mid. Edward, what can he really do here? Save onto the Galil, bring it into the next round, makes the money line awkward.
Ifs and buts about it, he's just got to try and hold him to the rifle when he can't do it. And this will be an eco. It has to be an eco for Selectah. I mean, at best, it will be a half buy. I wonder. Yeah, utility out for Edward and co. Kevlar is coming in, so half buy at best. I think it's because of the max loss bonus that they'll be able to gain here in round 20. And smoke set to potentially an execution over to the B bomb site. Might be able to secure a bomb plant, but again, it's fending off the retake. That's going to be the main concern for Selectah.
It's dealing with 2 AKs, because both of the AKs that were saved in from the previous round are now at B, which is going to make this site defensive so much easier. Execution coming through, they know it's a B play.
And the spray from Rylax gets only 1 kill, actually. They do deal with that first AK. Swing out from NK, awkward spray on the first man, and he falls to Tapper. So both those rifles taken out, 3-on-2 situation. Bomb plant denied by Holmes, awkward spray, he connects the headshot. 3-on-2 situation with Raven being low. They need to secure that plant. If they can do that, that'll be mission successful here for Selectah. And there it is. Now damage to come through against the CT side if they can work on that front. AK recovered, Deagle standing by. Incendiary is down, Tapper facing G, making his way in with the M4, takes him out. It's all to Raven. 1 versus 3 now. First up, 1 spray. Time, flashbang over. Time taken away for Hutji. He needs his kill desperately now. To the bomb. I think he's just got enough time for this. Yeah. He's got time for this. Excellency barely clutch a 9th, but for a half buy, that was an excellent run.
And Haji wins out a very strong clutch, but it came down to the wire. And Selectah, well, they're yet to get going on this T side, and it could come down into round number 20, especially with how
Hutji back up to the corner plate. This angle goes surprisingly often unchecked, so if they run through and Hutji can catch off all the players here of Selectah, such an awkward spot as well. He's playing anti-flash. He hears the flash being thrown. They don't check it. He gets only 1 though. If he waited for an extra second, that could work out, but Dav's still here with the orb. 2 picks to him. Holmes finds 1 elsewhere, and it's all left to JL. 1 versus 4. And well, Selectah look good on CT side. So do Excellency here.
Yeah, look, this is a shutdown. Selectah really have not been able to find the goods on this T side. We've seen a couple of rounds that have been close, but you look at the rifle rounds and they've just been really outclassed, to say the least. And we see Thomas on endpoint playing that position quite often out through long. Even the anti-flash coming through for Haji. They don't check the angle. The second player checks round, but already it's too late. Establishes a bit of a crossfire. The AWP of Dav does so much work. What do you do here for JL? Just save onto the AWP, bring it into the next round. hope you don't get hunted. And now we're tied up, and I'll tell you what, I was kind of, I don't want to say surprised, but I was maybe more disappointed in Excellency's performance in that first half, but it certainly seems that going into CT side, they look a lot more comfortable.
Absolutely. Even standing right now for Excellency and Selectah. Look at the amount of blue as well in connection. I mean, it doesn't. It's obviously not round to the road for Excellency, but it just goes to show how CT dominant these two teams are. And on a map that's generally T-sided, with Excellency's T-side bases coming through in their previous maps they played. In a really good position right now. The nades up, the T's out of dodge. Out of the longhouse here for the T-side forces. Selectah currently having Jemka with the bomb on his back, but the majority of the forces out here just setting themselves up for what seems to be a long play. Very uncontested by Excellency, though. They're going passive on the A bomb site.
They're almost set up for a retake setup. It's quite heavy out towards mid. You've got a mid player and 2 players aggressive on short. So the way that Excellency are posted up, that if it is an A play, it's potentially looking like a retake setup. But even with Selectah getting this long control, they're backing off. They might try and go back to B, and they've tried to hit this B bomb site pretty often in this first half. And it could get really awkward because you've got 2 players out through mid that could be very quick rotators to that B bomb site.
45 seconds, and Selectah going to move straight into the top of tunnels control. Edward, Jimka, and JL backed up by Raven. One lurker out towards the long control, and Hutchie's going to time this so well. It all comes up to accuracy and timing. No one's checking the lower tunnels. He makes noise, and JL adjusts for it. They know what's coming, though. Or from Rylax. Gets one, gets no more. Jimka drops him. 4 on 3. 17 seconds. Molotov's down. The bomb could cross in a dangerous position. And then K can't deny the plant from there. The Molotov's out towards the window as Raven takes him. Dav takes a trade back. Tapper into mid. Deals with the AWP. Holmes last man standing. 1 versus 3. And Selectah are just about going to maintain their lead here unless Holmes isolates these 1v1s but peeks into Raven. Not expecting that angle. Headshot comes through and Selectah get 11.
And unfortunately there for Haji, he actually made sound. So we saw right at the end, he actually wide swung rather than continued walking. And from there we saw the AWP able to take him down. Yeah, they had the information, but for Selectah, considering the position they were in, they probably shouldn't have been able to win out that round. There was a lot of information that went the way of Excellency, but it just came down to those entries. And they've reset the money line. This should be a 12th round going the way of the teams.
Okay, for Raven, taking Dav, Hutchie to fall next to JL. The eco got to come through from Excellency. They don't really have much of a say in that matter. They have to kind of just work towards the rifles in round 23, and they will get appropriately ripped apart. 5-on-2 situation, NK and Rylax left alone for Excellency. And yeah, they're going to get just taken down easily. USP's out. Edward with 2. And now the rifle's coming out here.
And this has to be a really big round coming out from Excellency. Because you don't really want to give the momentum up to the T side of Selectah. 12-10. It may look very close on the scoreline, but I could certainly see the winner of this being able to regather momentum. Because you look at Selectah, they win this, they're probably going to go up 14-10. It puts a lot of pressure on the back of the CT side. So this could be one of the most vital rounds we've had in Dust 2 so far.
Edward out, NK takes him down. Nice and easy to open things up for the CT side. Orbs in, M4 spotted, AK continues bursting up and doing the suppression job against Excellency. Look at the aggression from Hutchie. This is going to work so wonderfully, so wonderfully for the Excellency side. He won't see them, but he'll continue backstabbing. He sees that AWP now. He knows what's going on. He's going to be careful against JL, knowing that there might be a swing out. He gets caught off guard. Perfect timing for the man. And a return to even standing with the execute coming in from short.
Man, why does this always happen to Hutchie? It's the AWP again that takes him down. Man, that was looking like a round-winning play there. He gets the information, I suppose, but I can't believe the AWP was just... It timed that so perfectly. It's almost like someone whispered in his ear, he's behind you.
Despite the advantage of the momentum, Selectah are going to slow things down. Do lose Raven as a result. 4-on-3 situation. Flashes over, Orb straight up, looking for a connection. He gets JL, looks back in for Junker, sees that bomb, turns on towards short. Tapper gets two though. Headshots on the A site, and suddenly we're back to evens with no defensive left. It's going to be a retake now for Excellency, as they have just bottled this defense.
But, oh, look at the molly. Tapper's done so much work in the round, and with from the same angle, they need to work together, and Tapper's now going to start to aggress.
Yeah, that's not a chance. Headshot spray transfers. Rylax turns it to 1 versus 1. Got to get Jimka over a car, looking for his AK. Flashes over. Incendiary potentially to lead things out of position. He knows he's there towards long. He knows that plant is open for it. AWP scoped out. AK needs his headshot. He does more damage. Taps that bomb, trying to force Jimka to peek. Reface jump out. AK versus AWP. The spray's so awkward, but now his bag's turn, doing more damage. Jimka on 18, but he stalled for enough time. Rylax got to run. Selectah will get to 13, all thanks to the AWP's aggression and passiveness. Well played there from Long.
I'll tell you what, Tapper in particular, man, that was such a big round. Probably one of the biggest ones we've seen from him yet, even being the leading fragger at the moment. And that means so much to Selectah. Again, I said it, you know, if Selectah could win that out, they could go up 14-10. There's no money for Excellency. And it seemed like they got some momentum. We saw, what, 5 rounds in a row from them. Things were looking pretty good. They got some nice retakes on. They were looking confident. And from there, they've just lost a few rounds in a row. All the momentum has just disappeared. And that 2-on-2 post plant, even for Jimka, he baited for...
Defuse could have worked out well for the last Excellency player there. A bit unfortunate for Rylax in that one. But it is what it is, and they've got to just move forward with it. Tough slog right now from the CT camp. The Selectah are in control and will now look to work even further inwards. The AWP's out, of course, from JL, Eco across the rest of the CT board. This has got to be a 14th for Selectah. Like, there's no way about it for Excellency. They've got to get the rifles out in the next round and work off that, because otherwise, like, you know, they can't afford a force fight at this stage. It would be too risky. Take us right to a map point for Selectah. Excellency just spread out on the defensive, hoping to get some exits or some consolation frags.
There's something to at least be pleased about going into that next round. I'm slowing it down. I'm trying to get this map control through. I'm taking short. It should just be a split up to this A bomb site, a full commitment. Maybe 1 kill at best for Excellency. That's what they're hoping for.
AK out, Tapper takes Dav. That's already A site open from here. And maybe they can stack the pistols in, maybe they can do some damage. Edward with the AK set towards short. Jimka planting the bomb. USP's out. NK seen. Headshot found. Taps up looking for more. G will take down Edward at least for a 4-on-2 situation. Raven, 2 more picks. And there it is, 14-10. Rifles coming back out for the CT board. On Dav, M4's on 3 more. NK, probably also to buy up with a full utility. But this is Excellency's last big buy here. They'll be on forced buy status from that point to go to OT. They need this next round.
And honestly, for Haji, yeah, look, some of his aggressive lurking plays haven't worked out, but maybe just try and go for something like that again. But this is fast. This is a really quick mid to B play coming out. No, it's mid to A coming out from Jimka, and he gets taken down from Holmes.
Tapper there to respond to the man, though. Sees a second CT player being tentative about his facing, and Dav jumping out with the AWP, seeing nothing else towards tunnels, has got to readjust and look to the mid doors, because it seems like that might end up being the play here. Selectah have gained that part of the map. They've gained the short control as well. Minute and 20 with the M4 backed up over at Rap. Dav standing by and waiting here to the mid face. And a minute and 10, Selectah going to evade this AWP. They're actually going to put 2 players in mid and rotate to the B bomb site. And Rylax to defend against it. Hutji on Ramp, Rylax the 1 versus 4 the defensive. Hutji going to reposition, try and get aggressive in his own right. This could be risky, but it could pay out in troves. 1 pick, burst up, takes out Raven, bomb being dropped, looking for the next man, sprays blind, gets Tapper, still looking for the AWP, USP out, so close to landing, he's doing damage. Hutji, 3 massive frags, and holds the defense for Excellency with Dav closing out on Edward. It's 14-11. Selectah can't go to the finish line just yet.
Oh, okay. What a hold coming out from Hutji. Dropping that bomb in the open meant that for Selectah, they needed to keep pressing forward to even try and pick up that. Little bit of time. The aggression starting to be a lot quicker from Selectah in these last few rounds.
Oh, nades up against them though as they try and take that aggression to a bit of a passive-aggressive face. Oh, nade on Jimka as well. Landed directly on the man. And there's 3 players around 60 points of health or less already. Flash over, he needs the port desperately, sees 2 out of the tunnels and on towards B stairs. He drops that bomb, looks for even more. Sport response comes out from the T side, but it's a 3-on-2 with a low HP advantage for the CT side. Hutji takes out JL. Edward can get 1 pick back, but needs to isolate these 1v1s from their respective entries.
Oh, Edward, this could be absolutely massive, and he's going to start to try and get aggressive out through the door position, but Dav's seen him, and he can take him down. That round could have got a hell of a lot more awkward, because Dav actually legged Hutji on the fact of the retake coming through. Now, at least with a bomb plant, it is going to give them a little bit more of a cash injection going into the next round, and it's enough to go for a bite. Oh, NK, he probably wins that round for the team. What I love from NK is rather than fighting at B, considering he's alone, he decides, hang on a minute, I'm going to fall back, I'm going to let them get side control, because at least that way, we're holding on to the advantages.
And the retake and coming confident as a result. You know, we talk about B site of Inferno being so tough, or B site of Dust 2 is just about as tough for the retakes here. Look at Selectah straight out the gate towards A long. It's Jumka with the opening frag. Look how aggressive Hutji's going to get. But Jumka and Tapper quickly clean him and his teammates back up. Excellency went for the long stack, and Selectah did the same. And suddenly a 2-man advantage could throw this whole situation off. M4 standing, burning alive. NK to 47 on the CT side. They've got to save from here. There's no way back into this round. What a blunder from Excellency to let this whole thing fall so quickly apart. And NK just left as the last man to save.
They just got rushed. That's all it was. They got absolutely rushed out from long. They weren't there to commit. They had numbers out through long, but unfortunately, the coordination just not there. The crossfire's not set, and they got so caught off guard. And I'm looking at the money, and I'm thinking they might have a bit of a rough time investing into the next round. Holding on to this AK means absolutely everything. Not a lot of money.
In such a good spot as a result, as you mentioned, no money for Excellency. This is gonna be a tough buyback in what will have to be a round to take us to overtime as well. Excellency would love nothing more than to 2-0 in this series, try and close it out early. But given the way things are going, I don't know if they can actually make that happen here, Dweg. Of course, the rifle's out for plenty on Selectah. The momentum currently in their favor. Excellency had such a good CT start as well. Like, it gave me quite a lot of hope for this second half.
Yeah, absolutely. But unfortunately, these last few rounds has made it really awkward in terms of the buy. Been limiting a lot. And they go back to the setup where it looks like it's going to be a retake A coming out from Excellency, giving up complete long control. It's almost as if they're scared to take the long challenge, and I don't doubt them, considering what happened in that last round. They go, you know what, let's just give up long. Let's just play passive on the site instead. And focus our attention in an aggressive short crossfire. But that's going to allow Tapper to get into the pit. He's got this AWP. Now from here, Selectah, they can just establish the cross smokes and walk up through long.
$50 seconds to the clock. CT side out and about here on the A bomb site. In particular, Dav taking contact with the M4. Smoke will go down. Room here for his team. Flashes over, catching Mars, sees one top of the smoke, takes down that bomb. That's a big kill to find. Jumka chimes back in. Dav gets one pick back, but Jumka there with his double. 3 on 3. Nades on site. AK's picked up. Edwards backline though. Taps up on the flank here towards B. He can't land the headshot. And Relaxer could still get away with a frag. The bomb gets passed over. 10 seconds left though. Someone's going to pick it up and plant it. It will get out towards the side. No nades they can put out there. So unfortunately, no, they've dropped it. Holmes has done it. Holmes has done it. I don't believe this. They've got Jumka on the ropes in Goose. But I can't believe they planted open and threw the round away.
Why are they planning for short? They have no one there. They don't even know if it's open. And they're just messing around. It took them so long to get that bomb down. As soon as they took down NK on the side, they should have immediately got that bomb down and played the post plant. That was just messing around. They wanted to buy a better time. Edward was on a flank. Even that wasn't too successful. And that's just overthinking things. They needed to commit to the bomb plant. Why they planted for short, I have no idea. Just plan safe. Just plan safe, it's fine. You don't know what's out through short. And now you look at the money line and you think, okay, what do we do here? We don't really have enough money to force the issue. I can't believe it. So Jimka saves in an AK from the last round. They're going to be playing for OT now because, well, not playing for OT, but playing for round number 30.
This was not the way things should have gone for Selectah. I think they realized it as well. And I mean, Excellency were barely hanging on by a thread throughout that entire round. Yeah. The trades were going so well. The CTs lost the man advantage on their aggressive faces. Edward had a bit of a choke moment towards the B bomb site, but it was really that kill from Holmes that really done it in. And again, mistakes from Selectah. I don't know why they needed to put that bomb out there. They could have planted it on default, had a simple situation.
Yeah. They're forcing.
And they're going to force up, indeed they are. They do not want to let this go so far as a 14th for Excellency. They could have saved, they could have got a full buy into round 30, but here we go. It is going to be 2 AKs at Galil, 2 pistols up against the rifles, SMGs out with the CT camp, trying to fight aggression and firepower with sheer attacking force. Straight in, burst through, damage done. Nades from NK takes out Junka. He will drop to 6 HP, 3 HP in fact. Raven finds one, SMG gets close, and Raven doubles up, but they've dropped the bomb, they got the info, they got the man advantage, but not for long. Scout from Dav, all that remains, he could get taken out as well, and maybe this force play could work for Selectah.
I can't believe it's worked. Like, there's just so much chaos out through long, and, well, Relax is the last one left. He is going to at least potentially see a player getting out towards long. Oh, he doesn't find it. That's a 16th up for Selectah. And, Jay, towards the end there, we saw a lot of scrappy